All right, guys, super basic one today. A few young quarterbacks out there. It's worth learning what the numbers for the defensive line identifications are. We call them techniques, right? So if someone's lined up head up on the center, we call that a zero tech, like a nose. If someone's lined up as a shade on the center, meaning he's got shoulder to shoulder, not head to head, we'd call that a one. Okay, as we work out, we're going to start going higher in the numbers. So if you're head up or inside of a guard, we'd call that a two. If you're an outside shade, we'd call that a three. If we're head up or inside on the tackle, we'd call that a four. If we're outside shade, we'd call that a five. Head up would be six. Outside shade would be a seven, right? Now, some teams will include the eye on it. So if someone's slightly inside, they might call that a two eye, or head up, they would call it a two. In an outside shade, they would call it a three. There's some variation, but for the most part, that's pretty consistent. What's important to begin recognizing is how that affects your run game, right? So some teams, let's say you're an inside zone or an outside zone team, you're a zone team, you might decide that if you get a three tech, you want to run inside zone, but if you get a two, you want to run outside zone, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you flip to a gap scheme play or something. But it's important to start learning those techniques because it means now you can take on a bigger role in the run game, a bigger role in your protections, when you can now identify defensive line techniques and begin figuring out the implications of what some of those techniques might mean.